Yeah, actually there was. And I think really the hesitation was because of the timing. And it was because I filmed Housewives and we literally were in Amsterdam and then I mean those girls trips are tiring. I mean, I'm almost 50. I don't even know. It's such a blur. I'm like, I don't even know how I got through that. But then the timing of the wife swap was like immediately after, which I mean, on one hand, I'm glad because I'd rather just bust it all out at one time. But I think I was only home from Amsterdam a couple days before we started Wife Swap. So I really was questioning my life choices at that point. I was just like, what did I do? And also, there wasn't a lot of information about it as well. Obviously, it's like it's the first time. There wasn't anything before to compare it to. I didn't know the schedule really or how long. I didn't know where I was going. And I think it was all those unknowns too that also I was just like, what am I doing? What did I sign up for? And I'll tell you also when they first approached me about doing it, I mean, maybe this is on me, but I thought it meant switching with another housewife. That's my interpretation. So I thought, oh, I'll probably switch with like Melissa Gorga or something. And then I feel like I only figured it out like close to filming that it was like, oh, I'm switching with like I don't know who it is or what's going on. Anyway, but yeah, here we are. I mean, Shane's okay with it. He's definitely has a different attitude about filming than he did the first couple of years. I mean, I feel like he's become more comfortable with the cameras and he's more comfortable putting himself out there and doing those things. So he never said no. I think his concern was just navigating the kids through all of it and making sure, at the end of the day, you always want your kids to be happy. And so he was just, I think his concern was just making sure that it wasn't too overwhelming for them or, he just making sure that they had an enjoyable experience. And that's hard. That's a lot of pressure to make sure that three kids with three different personalities, all different ages are like navigating it well and are happy and are okay. And. And also, I'll tell you, just to be completely honest, we were worried about Luke as well. And, I saw some people that said things online like, I can't believe she did another show. First of all, as far as the timeline, I said yes to Wife Swap long before we started having a lot of issues with Luke. So that's the timeline on that. But we were concerned about that and if it would be too overwhelming for him. And I had to kind of, think about that. But actually, Luke, I think the difference was for Luke was he was part of it. And I think he liked that. With Housewives, the majority of the time it's me filming with the other women. And then occasionally there's some things at home. But, there's a long period of filming and 95% of it is me with the other women. And so I think Luke really enjoyed this because he was just it was about him too. So, he's kind of a ham, so he liked it. He's much better. I mean, we still have lots of issues. We still have therapists and we're still trying to figure things out and we're still doing a lot of diagnosis type of things and taking him to occupational therapy and trying to understand everything so that we can, do what's best for him. But I will tell you, he's now in a different school and it's an academy and it's geared toward kids like him that don't really fit into that traditional type of classroom. And so he's blossomed since this new school. He loves it. Math is his favorite subject now. He gets excited to go to school. So that's alleviated so much stress on him, on us, on the household. So it's been life altering. Here's what I think people maybe don't understand is that we were living that in real time. So every reaction I have may not be perfect and I might not always say the correct things, but that's because we were trying to figure it out as we were filming. It wasn't reflecting back on something we went through. It was literally trying to understand what was going on while there were cameras. And it was really difficult. There were times I told you before, I think when we spoke before that I thought maybe I should step away. And then Shane was like, but does that really help him? Is that helping him learn how to cope? You should be able to leave the house or go be with friends or have a job or have a career. That's things that kids have to be able to understand and deal with. And so, the reaction I would say the overall reaction that I get on my Instagram where people send me tons of DMs telling me thank you so much for being authentic and talking about your children, and I have kids and I've gone through the same thing and it really resonates with me, and I'd never heard of ARFID before and now I'm researching it because I think my child might be going through the same thing. Those are my people. Those are the people that's the reason I chose to do it. Those are the people that take something away from it. Those are the people that inspire me because they share their own personal stories. The people online that post hateful things, I can't control that. And I feel like they're very one-dimensional. They watch something, they take something literal, they post something negative, and that's those aren't my people. I'm glad they watch it. I appreciate that. But if their takeaway is something negative about me as a mother or my child, then I can't control that. But I'm here to raise my child and to have the women around me that are moms that are inspiring and that take something away or help me. And there have been so many moms that have helped me understand Luke better because they've been through it and they've given me advice and they've given me, recommendations. And, I've learned a lot about Luke through the viewers. I mean, the basis of the old wife swap was basically, there's some type of opposites going on, but I didn't know what that was. It's not like they were laid it out for me, you know what I mean? So I'm like, I didn't know if I was going to go to, the mountains or, be in West Virginia in the middle of nowhere. I had no idea what the opposite was. But it was once I got there, and I remember pulling up to the house, and I was like, this home is beautiful. Like, I mean, clearly it's not, they're not sending me to some remote deserted place with an outhouse and I have to like, use well water. So that's not it. So it wasn't until I was kind of like figuring things out and meeting the kids and then reading the letter that I was like, oh, okay, now it's clicking. Like the opposite is the husbands. That's the opposite. Okay. I also do want to clarify, I do a lot. It's just he takes on the responsibility when I'm filming. So 4 months out of the year, he really is, the main, pick up, drop off, make the lunches, all that kind of stuff. And he still does that when I'm not filming as well. But I feel like the focus was more on that time period when like I'm filming a show. It's not like me and Ben eating bonbons while he's doing everything. So I would just want to make that very clear. But, I really liked Eric. And, when I first read the letter, I was like, oh my gosh, like this guy, is this guy, what am I going to do with this? But I found him to be very endearing. I think he has a good heart and a good soul. I think he wants to do what's best for his wife and his kids. I just think maybe he doesn't navigate that well and he doesn't communicate well. But I took a lot away from it. I learned how much Shane actually does do. I'm just so used to that because that's my life. I'm so used to him being such a hands-on dad that to me that's normal. And to see someone who like doesn't do anything was very eye-opening for me. So, that was good because I'll tell you, it is difficult having a preteen daughter. I mean, that 12, 13-year-old age is very difficult. And, I'm not jealous of another woman being able to crack my daughter and being able to get into her. I welcome that. I told her, I think in the letter, if there's any way you can reach her or create a bond with her, or I mean, I love that because I think it's that age, it's that seventh grade middle school age where it's like all of a sudden she doesn't want to have much to do with me. She thinks everything I say is cringe. I'm lame. I get it. But also, she really needs a mom. So it's like I'm always there while she's telling me how cringy I am. So for Callie to be able to kind of break that and kind of get her to talk, and I mean, I love that. Yeah, I do. Callie and I text a lot. She actually just texted me this morning and she invited Shane and me and the kids to come out to New Jersey for the premiere of the show. And unfortunately, we can't because we're going to Mexico next week on a family vacation. And I planned the vacation prior to knowing when the air date was. I wasn't sure when it was. So, but that was, I mean, it was so nice that she did that. But we'll definitely have to make plans to get together and reconnect at some point because I would love to see the kids again. I mean, those kids were just so, it was also the kids are so great because I have 3 kids, she has 3 kids. They're all kind of in the same age group, and They all have their different personalities. They were reminded me of my own children, and I felt so embraced by them. And with kids, that's hard. I was worried. I was worried more about the kids than the husband. I was like, whatever, but I really wanted to connect with the kids, and I just felt they just welcomed me so easily and were so loving and so endearing and so kind. And it was a great experience. It really was. I don't know what was surprised. I guess maybe just I didn't know anything that happened with Shane and with Callie. So what, that's always interesting to see, their conversations and how he handles things. So, but he's very Shane. Like he's never surprising to me. He's always like this, he's he's always Shane. But that was I like to see that, just what was going on when I wasn't there. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I don't understand. I feel like Tamara came into the reunion with a chip on her shoulder towards me. And I don't even understand where that came from because I felt like during the entire season, I felt as if I was very fair when it came to Gretchen and to Tamara. I didn't just take a side because I was just friends with Tamara or just friends with Gretchen. I really tried to be fair about their behavior, because I felt like there were so many times when Gretchen was out of line, and I felt like there were so many times when Tamara was, and I felt like I was honest about that and I verbalized it. So I don't really understand why she had an issue with me going into the reunion, but she didn't. It doesn't even make any sense to me. Even at the end, like she just, at the end, I don't know, you don't know the end, but there's like a surprise ending, right? Yeah, and so there's this surprise ending. I'm not even in that end. Like I'm not even part of that. Like I wasn't even there. And after that airs, like she comes at me and I'm thinking there's three other people that were just sitting here just destroying you and you're yelling at me. I don't know. I don't understand it. So I don't know. I mean, I would say with Tamara, I would hope that there's some type of path forward. I mean, I don't think anybody ever wants to be on her bad side. But I mean, my question would be like, what is your issue with me? I don't understand that. So that's where we're at. Oh, I'm sure she did because I mean, the amount of information that this person knew, I mean, it was detailed. It was dates, it was who was there, it was where we were filming, it was, content and the whole thing about the screenshot with Gretchen and that Gina was involved with that. I mean, that's detailed information that only cast and production would know about. So clearly someone leaked it, and the fact that they said it was Tamra, I mean, I believe them. I'm sure that she does or has been or has done it for years. I think it just caught up with her. So I mean, there's no reason for me not to believe that it was her. It seemed very black and white. No, my views on Katie don't change at all. Absolutely not. Just because, I mean, Katie does the same thing, but I do think the difference is Tamara's giving away content from, the show. But the difference is Katie isn't, I don't know if she's giving away content. She likes to sit with journalists and media people and content creators, and she likes to give defamatory information about our personal lives that is concocted and made up to people so that I think that's how she feels like she's winning if she can make us all look bad. And I mean, to me, that's the difference. I'd rather have someone give away content than sit across from someone and tell them something fabricated about me or my husband or my life. Here's what's hard for me, and I think maybe it's because I'm too analytical. The way I look at it is like, okay, Tamara has this information. I don't really know where it came from. It could have been concocted, maybe it wasn't. And then Gretchen has this information, and I'm not sure exactly where it came from, and it maybe was it's like when you have two expert witnesses at trial, it's like, well, this side paid for this one and this side paid for that one. So I don't know what to believe. At the end of the day, I still feel like it's a very gray area and it's really up for the audience to look and to decipher and for them to think what they think.